Okay, I'm locked in. Every single day I be locked in. Focused all the way, man, I'm locked in. From the time I wake, I be locked in. I don't need no break. Okay. Let's play. Okay. I say ain't nothing but my grind on my mind. See, we started with nothing, then we climb, then we gonna keep ducking till we finally shine. Indeed, I keep them ducking, baby, time after time. I say ain't nothing but my grind on my mind. See, we started with nothing, then we climb, then we gonna keep ducking till we finally shine. Indeed, I keep them ducking, baby, time after time. I said it's getting hotter out that flame I came. They try to stop me, straight up block me through that pain I've gained. A newer way, pursue my rays. Look, I don't cry no more. I just load up my mind and let my grind go show. Cause I'm locked in.
Cause we locked in, baby.
Every single day I be locked in. Focused all the way, man, I'm locked.
What up? Welcome back to another episode of Draft Junkies with my man Chris. Just joking. Can you hear me good, Chris? We good?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
People in the chat, can you hear me good? Because I had to turn my desktop audio down on one of my programs, so I want to make sure we good on that end too. So mic check 1 2 1 2 to the chat box. I'm good with Chris. Is Chris good with you guys? Before we go on and have you with this fire episode, I don't want to be talking and rambling and doing what we do, and you guys can't hear nothing. Oh, Jared gave us a thumbs up, so we all good. Let's get ready to roll. We got 6 guys. We've worked our way back around to the O-line, so that's what we're going to get into today. This is part 2 of the O-line, but this is probably episode about 7 or 8 of Draft Junkies. This is something we kind of fell into on the back end of draft season last year, and I think both of us liked it, so we kind of started early, and we're going to give you – we're probably going to get to a good number of players this year because we got about a month and a half before the draft. I think the draft is what, late April?
Yeah.
This is what, mid-March? So we probably got another 4, maybe a 5th episode. Definitely we got 4, unless, something happens with either one of our families. But we may have 5 episodes left. So that's potentially 30 more players. And so this is the second time around with the O-line, and we're going to kind of go through the same positions again. And you may get another O-line episode, may, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you didn't see the first one, check that one out too.
Please.
People they're like, oh, what about Gray Zabel? It's like, all right, we talked about him already.
Matter of fact, I'll go back and tell you. If y'all give me 1 second, I'll tell you who we did in the first episode. Now it may be a little choppy because YouTube did their thing with it. YouTube definitely did their thing with it, but I'll tell you who we did in the first episode. I know
we did Gray Zabel, we did Josh Simmons, we did Josh Connerly, we did Donovan Jackson.
Yep. Cam Williams, and Jalen Rivers.
Jalen Rivers.
Yep. So it was Gray Zabel, Cam Williams, Jalen Rivers, Josh Simmons, Josh Connerly, and Donovan Jackson. So if anyone, when you go back and watch it, if any one of those names you don't hear, don't blame us. Blame YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube said, "Give me that. Let me have that." So if any one of them names you missing, it's YouTube fault. We did it and had it out, and YouTube said, "Nope, you can't have that. Take that out." And so that's what happened to it. So if I'm mid sentence talking and then all of a sudden go to Chris with an unrelated topic, that's what happened. So just so you know. Just so you know. Yeah, the Hawks say I'm about to add audio engineer to my resume. Hey, add it. The pay over here is minimal to none. It's minimal to none. Just so you know. Just in case you was adding it to your resume to come over here, it's minimal to none. Highly on the none side. Highly on the none side. So but that's what that is, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started, especially since we started on the back end of the day. And both of us, we're working men, so we gotta hit it tomorrow. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our first guy. And as I'm reading some stuff to you, I'll kind of play the little cut up that we have on. The first guy we got going is let me get it up. is, there it is, Wyatt Milum. Wyatt Milum. That's the first guy we got going, and I'll tell you a little bit about Wyatt while that's playing. From West Virginia, 6'6.5", weight 313, arm length 32 1/8, hand 10 1/2. He did pretty much all the stuff at the combine. Why they ain't playing? There you go. 5.27 at 40-yard dash, 1.84 40. I'm sorry, 10-yard split, 30-inch vertical, which is good for a big dude. 9-inch broad, which I think is good as for a big dude as well. 4.69 vertical. What the scouts say is his strengths. Built a good proportional thickness and strong hands. Comes off the snap with good pad level and body control. Plays with a heavy thump on first contact. Displays agility to adjust to moving targets on second level. Happy to quick set the edge rusher and stop him when his tracks. Digs his pass punch with good placement and leverage. Excellent recognition and feel for development twists. And sets a sturdy anchor. Bullies looking to power rush him. He bullies people looking to power rush him. Ooh, that was a mouthful. All right. What you got on Wyatt Milum? Man, you see what I think about him with the positives and the negatives. That's why I don't read what I do. I'm gonna go ahead with what Chris think about.
Yeah, he was somebody I liked coming into the college season. I studied him over the summer, and he was one of the guys that I liked quite a bit. I don't think he's going to be a tackle, and you know that's clear when you watch his tape, especially with guys being able to hit that edge on him, especially high-end pass rushers, and you kind of see where the deficiencies with length come up with him. But even though he has trouble, you know, on the edge, he's a good athlete. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a really good athlete. And for a guy who's a mauler, like I like that pairing for an athletic mauler. He shows good linear athleticism. As far as run blocking, he's one of the most tenacious run blockers in this class when it comes to the tackle group. He's very tenacious. He knows how to use angles and leverage in the run game. But on the flip side of that, he kind of loses that leverage in pass pro. And, you know, West Virginia, they're very, very run heavy. And the pass sets can be a little bit clunky at times. But I do think most teams will view him, or if not most, all teams might view him as a inside guy. And I think he could be a target for the Ravens, like second round. You know, let's say if they go edge rusher, corner, safety, whatever it is. I think he could be a guy that they have circled for the second round, kind of like what we saw with Rosengarten, where they went with Wiggins and, you know, they were kind of, you know, on pins and needles, like, damn, we hope Rosengarten falls to us. And this could be that guy who they can potentially have at that left guard spot.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think could have that flexibility, like you said, to be a guard and maybe play some tackle if need to be. But you see, you know, his snaps, he's played for the most part all 4 of his years at West Virginia. I think he was maybe redshirted that first year, but a good production from when he actually started playing up until now, and a guy that I think you can depend on. Maybe won't be a superstar, but will be a solid starter for a good long career at whether it be guard. Well, let me say this. I think he'll be a dependable tackle. I think he'll be an excellent guard. Do you kind of feel along those same lines, Chris?
Yeah, I think I think his best spot would be kind of like remember Skoronski where he was a tackle and the Titans just put him right into the middle. You know, there were teams in the league that had Skoronski as a tackle, and I think with Milum, we could see that where, you know, maybe the Ravens will have him as a guard, and let's say the Buccaneers will have him as a tackle. You know, right. So I think different teams will view him, you know, with that, whether he's an inside guy or outside guy, and I think it'll be a coin flip as far as what teams like and how they like their guards to be.
Got it. All right, so that's the first guy, Wyatt Milum of West Virginia. We'll be moving on to our second guy, which is Jonah S. Would you like to take a shot at trying to say this name before I go on, or we just gonna call him Jonah S?
I'm gonna give it a try. Savaiinea.
There it is, Savaiinea, and I'm gonna keep it pushing like that. Let's let Jonah tape play. So what I have for Jonah is He's a American Samoa from Tufunga, American Samoa, 6'4", 324. So you know he's pretty much an athlete. Played, darn it. There we go. 33 7/8 arm length, 324 pounds, 10 and 1/4 inch hand length, 4.95 40-yard dash, 1.72 10-inch split, 29-inch vertical, 8 foot 10-inch broad jump, 4.66 20-yard shuttle. What the experts say he's good at: dense frame with excellent thickness through limbs. Pause. Patient with hands, but fires them through with timing and accuracy. Uses posture and core to control rushers once he's locked in. Space-eating frame would be tough to beat quickly inside. Able to shove angle blocks around with upper body strength. Does a nice job of finding and fitting the second-level targets. You see what I have about him: ideal length, good football IQ, anchoring, negatives, high pad level, and well, it should say hand placement. That's me. I'm bad spelling, typing in the middle of the night. But that's what I have for him. And what do you think about Jonah? I forgot just that fast.
So when you first look at the size, you're like, oh, this is a big, slow dude. It's like this is like a Daniel Falele. This is like a Orlando Brown Jr. But this dude can move. Like he has some really good feet. It surprises you how good his feet are. And he came into Arizona as a guard. He didn't even play tackle in high school. He was playing guard. Then obviously came in, was an All-American freshman at guard at Arizona. Then made that move to right tackle, and he was at right tackle mostly. Then last season, for some, I think he played like 400 snaps or something like that, or 600 snaps. I don't know.
Let's see in a second. Let's see in 1 second.
Yeah, I think he split his time between right tackle and left tackle this season, and he looked fairly well at both spots, and that's a testament to him. Oh, you got it right there, right?
But I don't have it split. I just got the total.
Okay, yeah, I think it was half though. I think he had half at right, half at left, and he looked pretty good. I mean, it's not a guy that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's our left tackle. But remember a few years ago when Daniel Falele had to play left tackle against the Bills one time, and it was like, oh damn,
that was his first time playing left tackle in his career.
Right. And so, this guy, he brings you flexibility where he can play left side, right side, interior, both guard spot. So he brings you versatility, but it's not just, oh, he's a versatile guy. He really doesn't have a home. I think you draft this dude, and I think wherever you have a deficiency, you can plug him in. Obviously not center, but any other 4 spots, if you have a deficiency, mainly at left guard, right guard, and right tackle, because I wouldn't put him at left tackle. But if you have a deficiency in those 3 spots, I think you can plug him in and be comfortable about his development, because he's just progressed year after year after year. And this is a young dude that's coming in. And again, like we spoke about with Milum, this could be another guy that the Ravens could possibly have their eye on in the second round. And he can give them that flexibility that we know that they love and that they're going to be missing with Makari leaving now.
I got the number for you. He got 345 at left guard and 364. I'm sorry, 345 at left tackle and 364 at right tackle. So he played both of them this year for Arizona. So basically, he split those reps damn near in half at right tackle and left tackle.
Yeah, and I like him, and obviously he's not a perfect prospect. It's not like he's in the top 5, and there are deficiencies that you see there where he doesn't consistently play up to that size and that strength. But not to say, because it's easy to just say, oh, coaches can coach that up, but the limitations that he has aren't physical,
right?
And that's the part that you kind of want to build on. When you're drafting, you want to get guys who have the physical ability. Now you have to mold them and shape them into what you think they can be or what they should be.
Appreciate the deuce, Rave Kingdom. What I did know, Chris, was that even though he split his reps at both tackle positions this year, he split reps at right tackle and right guard last year. And then the year prior to that, he played predominantly right guard. So he can pretty much play every position up there except for center.
Yeah, his freshman year, he was a freshman All-American at right guard. So, it's not just like, where guys, they have like 60 snaps at right guard, 70 snaps at right tackle. This dude has major snaps at both guard and tackle. So that's always a plus.
Yep. So that's Jonah Savaiinea.
I like it.
Hey, that'll work.
I
Big
like
Jonah. But I'm kind of partial here lately to Samoan O linemen because those big jokers, they can move.
Yeah.
And they're like by nature powerful. Them jokers can move, man.
Yeah,
they are dancing bear to the max. Chaos says, how big is he? He is 6'4", 324, Chaos. That's what you need in your life. That's what you need in your life. But moving on to the next guy on our list. It is Anthony Belton, the Tallahassee native that played at I want to say he played at Florida High, which is Florida State's high school, and if you don't know, pretty much every major college has like a high school that's kind of tied to the college. And most of the time that high school is kind of on the campus of the college. But in this case, Florida High is across town from Florida State. It ain't nowhere close to it. It's like a 15-20-minute drive from Florida State, but it's still same colors, pretty much same mascot, but it is what it's a charter school that's, they pick and choose who they want to go there. But this guy right here is Anthony Belton. Let's talk about Anthony Belton real quick. 6'6", 336 from North Carolina State, 33 and 7/8 play, damn it. 7/8 inch arms, 10 and quarter-inch hands, 5.26 40-yard dash, 1.82 10-yard split, 29.5 vertical, 8.11 broad, 7.77 3-cone. Didn't do the shuttle, didn't do the bench. I wonder why. His strengths: wide frame, slows rushers' progress at the edge, upper body power to rock the rushers off track with his punch, displays ability to sink pad level and drop in a late anchor, surprisingly number of feet. That's what I like. That's what stood out about it to me. To be that big, to have feet that good. Drive power widens the gap when squaring the block, potential to become more dominant blocker with tweaks to his hands, and a hunger to drive opponents into the grass as a block finisher. He's one of the few dudes I've watched in this cycle that actually tries to finish blocks. There haven't been a lot of dudes that reminds me of who's the tackle that plays for the Saints now that gets a lot of holding penalties. Crap. Was he from South Dakota?
I know who you're talking about.
But anyway, he used to like try to dog wash people. Trevor Penning. I ain't seen a lot of people in this cycle that be trying to finish people like for real. But he's one of the guys that like be trying to put people in the dirt. But Anthony Belton, what do you think about Anthony Belton? And you see what I feel about him in the positives and negatives, people watching in the comment section and watching this later too. But go ahead.
Yeah, this is a guy who's had a long road here. JUCO guy, came into NC State as one of the top JUCO players in the country. Came right in, got the left tackle spot. As far as the build, the strength, the frame, it's all there in that department. Now, when it comes to giving up his edge, I think he's not as nimble as you would like to see. So he's a good linear athlete, which means if he's going on a straight line, he can get there in a hurry. But when it comes to having to redirect and recover, that's where he kind of has his hangups in real games. Now, at the Senior Bowl, he was able to recover, which was kind of interesting to see because you don't really see that in a game film.
Right. Let me ask you this question. For his size, is his ability to move legit? 6'6", 336.
Like in a straight line, or
no. In game situations, reactive, yes, reactive.
Reactive, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't really like it. But the thing with him is if he can build off of the physical traits that he has, because the physical traits are there. I do think that he's a guy who needs to improve his pad level and his leverage because he does play pretty high. And like you said, he has that nastiness in his game. You know, he plays with a mean streak instead of to the echo of the whistle, but he has to do a better job of having an understanding of angles and leverage, because we see guys who aren't his size who are able to battle and able to get up under defenders and use that leverage and you know, have that kind of that you know, that you know, the traits and the smarts to use leverage and angles to kind of guide defenders away from the quarterback. I think
that O-line IQ.
Yeah, and I think with Belton, you kind of just see more of an athlete than a cerebral player.
He out-athleting people instead of understanding leverage and understanding the scheme. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm more athletic than you. I ain't really beating you cerebrally. I probably just made that word up, but you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Now, if he ever puts the two together, he could be a monster.
Right, and that's what he did at the Senior Bowl. Like at the Senior Bowl, he looked different.
So saying that, I don't want to be taken out of context when I say this. Do you think he rises to the level of his competition? Because at the Senior Bowl, he went into it knowing, okay, I'm with the best of the best. I can't come here BSing, and he put his best foot forward. Even though, we'd actually want people to put their best foot forward every practice, every game. It don't really happen like that. But if I know I'm going on this interview with the best of the best seniors or 4-year guys out here, and he came with the athleticism, all his good traits, and he put the mental part of it together, that's on his job interview, because the Senior Bowl ain't nothing but a job interview. That's he put his best foot forward on his last actual piece of film that the scouts will see. You think he can, translate that onto the NFL and maybe be consistent with that?
So I think at the Senior Bowl, it can be a thing, and I'm not saying this is it completely. It could be a thing of it's one-on-one, and he knows he's a good athlete, and when the game is going on, it's so much you got to worry about. It's not always just you and the dude rushing.
Right.
At the Senior Bowl,
linebackers and everything.
Yeah, at the Senior Bowl, it's you and the dude in front of you. So it's like you just focus on that. Now, to us, for what we're saying, it's the other stuff, like the extra things, the cerebral part of the game where he kind of struggles with how to pick things up, where to, when to hit his landmarks. Kind of like building that little circle around the quarterback. He kind of lacks that as far as the mental side of the game.
That's understandable. Hopefully he can put it all together and be better going forward. But
he's an interesting guy, like third, fourth round kind of guy. Like he's definitely interesting.
This man Brandon's so silly, man. So Brandon just he just had his 14-month for being a member, and his comment for his 14-month I guess message says 14 months and he finds out the child is still his. This man.
What's up, Brandon? On his Maury.
Right. He didn't turn to we talking about old lineman, he turned into the Maury show. You are the father. Just we ain't got nobody to go running. That's all. We ain't got nobody to go running. So let me get Jonah S off my screen. Let me get Anthony off my screen. And let me get to one of the two guys that I was really fond of. Okay. This is Aireontae Ersery, offensive lineman from Minnesota, 6'6", 331. From Kansas City, Missouri. He's a senior, 33 and 1/8 arm length, 9 and 1/2 inch hands, 5.02 40-yard dash, 1.75 10-yard split, 29.5 inch vertical, 9.3 broad jump. Appreciate you, Tim, for becoming a member. Appreciate it. 3-cone drill, 781, 20-yard. This man must have somebody must have gifted. Yeah, Brandon gifted. Let me let these run through. My bad, Chris. Sorry. Appreciate you, B. Let me let them run through.
Appreciate. 'Em.
Appreciate you, B. Let me let them run through. Appreciate you, B. Let me let them run through. Appreciate you, B. Tim got a membership. Antoinette Craig got a membership. Appreciate you, B. Tim got a membership. Mark Anthony the Gamer got a membership. Marcus M got a membership. Edard Edard S got a membership. I can't do that one. Can you see the screen, Chris?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if you can do this one. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Where is it? Where my StreamYard thing at? It don't show up on StreamYard. It's Edard Smith. I mean, it ain't Smith. It's a S. SMIAL KOWSKI. Edard, and I don't want to be disrespectful by no means, because I like people watching. I don't want them to feel slighted by no means. I'm gonna just Edard S got a membership. I'm sorry.
The way we do Jonah.
Yes, right. But thank you, B, for gifting memberships. And if you got a membership from B, please say thank you. And I appreciate you, B, for keeping this thing going throughout the summer months when a lot of football ain't going on. So we're gonna try to keep this train rolling, man. And B is the main guy that's keeping this thing rolling. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for what you do for the channel, man. More people need to be like 86 Ghosts. If more people be like 86 Ghosts, I wouldn't get as many gray hairs as I got. But back to Aireontae Ersery. Where was I? What the scouts like about him? Mass of humanity with a broad chest and long arms. This is a huge individual. Good initial slide quickness and depth to gain on diagonal sets. Fires direct jabs that jolt the rushers and slows their charge. When this guy punches you, he Mike Tyson punches you in the chest. Strong, sticky hands to keep rushers from escaping once he gets in the web. So that means once he gets in your clutches and he's number 69 on your screen, you ain't going nowhere. Patient base blocker who typically centers his initial strike, engages in line with consistent base, wide and body control, makes well-timed movements on combo blocks. And you see what I have on there. Block finisher, and y'all know I love block finishers. Athletic mover, NFL frame. That's the main part about it. He has an NFL body and good core strength. And then you see the negative. He overextends. That's the big thing about him. He gets too excited to go get people sometimes and gets caught in bad posture. That's the main thing I have. The main negative I have about him. What do you have about Aireontae Ersery, Chris?
You know what's funny about him? He reminded me so much of Robert Hunt when Robert Hunt was coming out of Louisiana. Same kind of body, same kind of play temperament, where he's another guy who's going to play with that mean streak. And obviously, you see the C on his chest, so he's a team captain. We know the Ravens love that. But he's a guy who I wonder if his best spot would be inside. I do think he can play tackle. It's not a case of like Wyatt Milum where I think he has to move inside, but I think his best place may be on the inside. I think when you have a player who has that power base, you kind of want to get that on the inside, because the footwork was a bit clunky, the hips were a bit tight when he was out on the edge and trying to keep up with those edge defenders. And you watch him against Abdul Carter and Penn State, and Abdul Carter was kind of giving it to him, like as far as being able to get that edge consistently. Now, he wasn't getting to the quarterback every time, but that edge was giving him fits. And you can see that bubble up and going to the next level. Like this, it's not going to get any easier. So I wonder if sliding him on the inside might be his best spot, because he has the build for it. He has the temperament for it. And I think that plays into his skill set better than a tackle would.
I kind of agree with you, and the reason I agree with you, because not only just him, there's a lot of guys in this cycle that I feel like will be great guards. They're going to have to play tackle because O-line play in the NFL as a whole is atrocious.
Right.
But there's a lot of guys that will be great guards in this cycle, this cat included. But he's probably going to have to play tackle for somebody. But I agree with like his mean streak, his temperament, his body control. I think his lack of foot quickness is what's going to be his demise at tackle. But if you slide him inside, that lack of foot quickness won't be an issue because he got everything else, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he wants to mix it up. He relishes it when it comes to contact and getting his hands on defenders. He loves that.
He want to go down that alley with you. Oh, it's a dog alley? Come on, let's go. It's too dark down there. I don't care. Come on.
On double teams, he's crushing people on double teams. He loves that.
He gets hip to hip, and then if the guy tries to peel off his way, that's the wrong decision. That's wrong. The best thing is to go the other way and let the linebacker deal with Ersery, because if you come off his way and he didn't already got help from the guard or the center, from the guard, wrong choice, cuz. And don't let him get in the screen game and like the DB or something don't see him coming. Flatline.
Yep.
Flatline. Now, if the DB see him coming, they can kind of wiggle and finagle their way out of it. But if they don't see him coming, he trying to take your head off. And that's one of the reasons why I love this, because I love finishers. Even if you kind of mess up from time to time and miss and kind of whiff, I love finishers, because if you get a good finish early, that sets the tone for the rest of the game, because they're gonna be looking for you,
right?
Or they're gonna be timid, while they play the rest of the game. That's kind of why I like finishers. So, that is what it is. Jason asks, "Where's that deep cover pod you promised, Chris?"
Hey man, things happen. Things happen, but we'll be cooking up something soon. We'll be cooking up something soon.
Life be life.
Yeah. We'll get onto it though. Don't worry. We got you, Jason.
All right. Next on the list is Chase Lundt, and for Chase Lundt, he is from Connecticut. I'm sorry, from Connecticut. My bad. Large Reginald, as Brodney calls him. And Brodney kind of mad with him right now, but Big Reg of Big Boy Talk from UConn, 6'7.5", 304 pounds, 32-inch, 32 5/8 arm length, 9 5/8 hands. Didn't do anything at the combine but bench press. And what the scouts say about him, 4-year starter with 3,000 career reps. Love it. Love the reps. Captures defender's play slide shoulder with quick, accurate hands, quick to accelerate and drive feet once the run block is centered. Plays under control with second level in space, are able to absorb power rush plus contact balance, fluid change of direction when mirroring inside moves, has both the bend and the core strength for consideration at guard. Chris, when I tell you I love the athleticism of this cat right here, because I think we're changing. Who he remind me of?
Who does he remind you of?
Linderbaum.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say somebody else.
The guard, the dude that's at Tampa Bay.
No, I was actually gonna say somebody else.
Who you was gonna say?
I was gonna say he kind of reminds me of like a poor man's Rosengarten with the way that he plays.
Yeah. I think he got a little bit more physicality than Rosengarten though. Because they ran the ball more at UConn. He wasn't asked to. Rosengarten wasn't asked to block as much. I mean, wasn't asked to run block as much.
But Washington was running and gunning.
Exactly. I love what he does in the outside zone stuff, especially with us being kind of going more to outside zone stuff. This now, in the past game, he, I don't know what he'll give us because they ain't do it as much. But what he does in the zone game and getting into space, pair that with Linderbaum, I love it. And I'm not saying he'd be a first round pick or a second round pick, but if you got him like third or fourth or whatever, and I don't even know if he'll be that late. I like it. I like it. What you think about him?
So obviously the movement skills, like you watch the first like 5 plays and you're like, all right, I see it already. Like just the way that he moves, he's able to hit his landmarks with ease, able to get to the second level with ease. And it's not just getting to the second level. He gets to the second level and he can actually mirror DBs. Because, we see a lot of the big guys in space and they're just like diving on the floor like they, dropped a cookie or something. Him, like he's able to actually mirror the DBs who are much smaller than him and actually get hands on them when he's blocking at the second level. He's more of a finesse blocker. I wasn't a huge fan of the power that he had in his hands or his anchor. I think his grip strength, it hinders his ability to sustain blocks. A lot of times like he was able to match and mirror defenders, but then when they hit him with that secondary move, he kind of lacked that grip strength to keep him there when he gets that initial block. But obviously going into the NFL, going into an actual big boy strength and conditioning program, that should do wonders for somebody like him because, like,
he got the frame too.
Yeah, like we spoke about, when you have that, those physical traits where you can be a 6'8", 300+ pound dude, and have the feet of a ballerina. There are O-line coaches who can definitely work with that, and who can maximize your skill set and use you as a weapon, kind of like you mentioned him earlier, like with Linderbaum, like where you can have Linderbaum. Everybody just sees like, oh, he's a blocker, but you can weaponize that where you can have him on the move and he can be a linebacker's worst nightmare.
Right.
And you can do the same thing with a guy like Chase where, he has the movement skills where you can have the defense flowing one way and then next thing he's on the second level and, it's night for your safety or your corner. So, these dudes, what happened?
I was gonna say a guy that size can completely cover up a linebacker or a DB, a 6'7" guy, like complete. Like you can watch film, you can watch the end zone view of a tape, and a guy that size can come. You won't even see the DB or linebacker. He's so big.
Yep.
And I love the fact that frame because he can put on another 30, 40 pounds easily and get strength that he visually lacks on tape.
Right.
Because at UConn, he ain't eat them a pizza. That's it. He ain't eating them a pizza. They ain't got no real food up there.
Yeah, the girls basketball team, they getting all the money.
That's it. He eating pizza. That's it. Pizza and chicken wings. When he finally get like a strength coach or he get a old lady that can cook or for real, whatever, however he gonna do it, he get some real pounds on him. Don't let him get a nice Southern young lady that can throw down, or he get pay for like a chef or whatever and get some pounds on him. Man, this dude right here gonna be the truth. If he can keep, say he lose 5 to 10% of his mobility, but pick up 20 to 25 pounds in weight, this dude gonna be awesome.
Now, I found it weird. If he had an injury or something, because a dude who can move like this, like I was shocked when I didn't see any testing numbers from him.
Now that I don't know, because he didn't do. I don't think he did anything at the combine. Like I
think he just benched.
All he did was benched. He benched. All he did was bench. Let me see if they say anything right here. Don't say anything right here. Don't know. This is something I need to go look and see.
Yeah, because you would think a dude like this would, that would be a prime place to showcase your movement skills and your athleticism.
Ooh. So I'm looking at this NFL comparison. I bet this is spot on. Liam Eichenberg.
I heard a good one.
Spot on. Yeah, I don't know why he it's a Texas kid too. Arlington, Texas, right outside of Dallas. Okay. All right, let me get him off. And we'll get to this last guy on the board, which a guy that I just knew I was going to like, but I didn't like him as much. He ain't bad, but I just didn't like him as much as I thought I would. Luke Kandra, Cincinnati, Ohio. His hometown was Cincinnati, so he stayed in town. 6'5", 319, 31 and 7/8 in arms, 10-inch hands. Didn't do anything, just like our last guy. Had a 33 bench press reps. Broad misdirection with thick chest and big hands, able to torque and block and slide hips into place. I saw a lot of holding, or what I thought was holding. Penalized only once more and more than 2,000 career snaps per PFLs, which is, you see how the contradiction goes in. I saw what I thought was holding, but they got him for one, whatever. But anyway, good heat behind a two-handed pass punch, rarely allowed rush to get to his chest. Now, this thing has him a candidate for bottom of the roster or practice squad. I don't agree with that. I do think he'll be a good player for a while in the NFL. Now, he wasn't one of my favorite NFL.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be like a superstar, but I don't think he'll be a bottom of a roster guy. I would take him. And I think he's better than somebody that. All right, never mind. That's a different show for a different time. But what did you think of Luke Kandra?
This is it's not going to be pretty. What he does. Like, he's a gritty lunch pail type of guard. Who he's looking to finish. He's more of that mauler in a phone booth type of player. You know, you don't like what we were talking about with Lundt. Lundt, you want him in space. Kandra, not so much. You know, like if you have him on the track to go to the second level, fine. But if you want him to kind of, you know, if you want him to pull and be out in space, that's going to be a little bit clunky. With him, the main thing I hated about him was his tendency to play upright. I thought it threw off his balance and his strength. You know, a guy like this, you know, stay low. You know, stay low. You have that base and that center of gravity where you can get up under defenders. And too many times it's like it wasn't the defender that was doing it. It was him where he's just popping right up. And, you know, that posture makes it difficult to sustain blocks because, you know, you're susceptible to counters. And once somebody hits that counter, you're already off balance because you got yourself straight up. And, you know, a guy like that, if he just sits his butt down, you know, keeps his pad level, you know, nice and low and maintains that natural leverage, you know, he could be a dude, like you said, who, you know, not a bottom of the roster guy, not a superstar either, but a guy who is dependable. And it's like, oh, our starters hurt. All right, we can, like, who was the dude from the Chiefs who got paid, who plays with Washington now?
The dude that I thought that we was gonna be able to expose.
Yeah, Allegretti, Nick Allegretti.
Yeah, Allegretti.
Nick Allegretti. He's like that type of guy where he probably won't be a starter, but if your starter's down, you'll be like, all right, like, you know, we got somebody who we can depend on, and then maybe, you know, he can build off of that and then turn it into a second contract the way Allegretti did.
Yep, I agree. And don't let somebody like get hurt, and he might get in there and figure some stuff out and go with it. Because I mean, 2,000 snaps ain't bad.
Yeah.
The 3,000 that our previous guy had, and I feel like those, like 3,000 snaps for a running back is too many, but 3,000 snaps for an offensive lineman, that's them learning reps.
So a lot.
Every rep is a learning experience. You get to see different pass rush moves. You get to see different ways people try to play the run. That's a different line in your learning notebook for offensive lineman, which is it's great. So the more reps for offensive lineman you get, the better. Now for skill positions, maybe not so much, because even though you seem like you taking a pounding as an offensive line, a lot of times you really ain't. I mean, you coming off the ball firing off, but after initial 2 to 3 seconds, you really know what's going on. Especially if it's a pass play. If it's a pass play, you firing off, and he know he gonna beat you from the initial contact, and then y'all kind of brother-in-law. Or if it's a zone run away from you, and if it's a zone run left, and the defender's outside moving to the outside, y'all ain't doing nothing after that. Y'all you stepping inside, make sure he don't sit that gap. He's stepping outside, and y'all were like, hey man, what y'all doing after the game? He ain't really doing nothing. So, but it's just the initial fire off. So you good on that, but it is what it is. But I think Kandra will be much better than what the NFL.com has him projected as. And I just, like, out of these 6 guys, I think he was the worst. But I don't think he's gonna be like a bottom of the barrel practice squad guy unless he go to a team that has an offensive line that's loaded. But I don't think none of the 32 teams in the NFL have an offensive line that's loaded, because the offensive line play as a whole throughout the NFL is not great, with the exception of maybe 2 teams, and they could use backups.
No,
and that's the Lions and the Eagles, and they still could use backups. So let me get us situated right here. That is the last one for the day. So in the comment section, not in the chat box, in the comment section, rank these 6 guys who you think from best to worst. And I'll go ahead and tell you who we're doing or what group we're doing next week. We're going to keep it in order from what we did the last time. Chris, you remember what we did after offensive line last week? I mean, not last week.
I think edge.
We did edge. So we'll do edge guys next week. So I gave y'all an opportunity to pick an edge player. On offensive lineman last week. Y'all ain't take the opportunity to do it. I'm gonna give you that same opportunity again. So Chris is going to send me 3 guys. I'm going to send him 2. I'm going to give you 24 hours to pick an edge guy that you want us to pick. Please, 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 please don't send one of the guys we've done already. You can go back and look at the video that we did of edge already. Matter of fact, I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you who we did at edge already. We did
Mike Green.
Mike Green was one of them. We did Michael Williams, Nick Scorton, Prince U. We did Donovan as a Ruku, Shamar Stewart, and Mike Green. So don't pick any of those 6. Don't pick any of those 6. But Chris is gonna send me 3. I'm gonna send him 2. You got from now till 10 o'clock tomorrow night to put in the comment section who you want to see. I'll pick the one who has the most votes to add to our list. All right, and that way, if Chris send me 3 and it's one of the guys that you pick, that means he'll have to pick another person. Or if one of the 2 I send him is one of the guys you pick, I'll send another person. That's how that's gonna work. You got 24 hours. Capiche? All right, so that's how. Let's see if I see y'all putting it in the comments. Don't put it here because this is gonna disappear. Put it in the comment section. Put Kaylin and Chaos. Put it in the comment section. This is gonna disappear. Comment section. I mean, in the comment section, I'll still have it. The chat box gonna disappear. All right. I appreciate y'all participating now, but put it in the comment section. All right. You got any parting words, Chris?
Man, I already know who I got in mind. It's one of my favorites, but I'll
go. You can send it there. You can send it once we get off. Then that way we already have it going. Because the thing is, the earlier you send it, the better it is for me. That way I can go ahead and get to start working on the little graphics and whatnot, and I ain't got to be procrastinating, doing what I can do, and I can work like I was working today, like I showed you earlier.
Yeah, now there's one guy that I feel like he doesn't get enough love, but yeah, you're gonna have to find out who it is next week.
Okay. All right. So on that note, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with us. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, clip anything you thought was informational or funny, and put it on your socials. And then there will be shorts of this video starting sometime tomorrow, and there will be shorts of the roundup from Monday as well. I'm starting to put those out. I started today throughout the rest of the week as well. So I appreciate y'all, man, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace and love. Don't forget, put who you want to see in the comment section. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.